Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we are going to be comparing a 2021 Ram 1500 TRX to a 2022 Ram 1500 Rebel GT, and we're going to answer the question of whether or not you should buy a base model TRX or a fully loaded Rebel GT. With all that being said, let's just pop right into the video. Now let's pop under the hoods of both of the trucks. Starting over here with the Rebel GT, we have a naturally aspirated 5.7 liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 395 horsepower and then 410 pound-feet of torque. You have the Ram airflow as part of the GT package and a cold air intake as well. And this one is an e-torque Hemi. Now popping over to the TRX, we have a supercharged 6.2 liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission as well. Fuel economy is 10 around town and then 14 on the highway, with power outputs being 702 horsepower and then 650 pound-feet of torque. So obviously we have a monstrous engine under the hood there with tons of power, tons of torque, but fuel economy is abysmal, whereas this can actually get decent fuel economy, but obviously acceleration is not going to be nearly as crazy. Now let's go over the front ends of both of the trucks, starting over here with the Rebel. You guys will notice that we've got the venting here on either side of the hood and then there in the center with the 1500 Hemi e-torque badge. And then coming down below, we've got the LED reflector lights with the LED accent lights at the top and the bottom of them. And then we've got fog lights down below with parking sensors here integrated to the front bumper. And then we have the skid plate right here with the Ram logo and then the mustache grill. I always call it the moustache grill, right? But anyways, that's the Rebel. Popping over here to the TRX, you can see that you've got the gigantic hood scoop here in the center with the LED marker lights, and then we have fake venting here on the side, just like what you have with the Rebel. 6.2 liter supercharged badge right there, and then we have the LED projector bulbs with LED accent lights at the top and the bottom, and then we have that same front grille pretty much with the moustache logo, but the Ram logo has been hollowed out because of airflow reasons here with the TRX. Now this is an aftermarket front bumper. The stock bumper has parking sensors just like this, has fog lights just like this, but it doesn't come with a light bar. The stock bumper looks somewhat similar to the stock bumper on the Rebel, but it's a little bit wider, if that makes sense. But yeah, there's the front ends of both of the trucks. Now let's go over the tire and wheel setup with both the trucks. We have 18-inch wheels on the Rebel and 18-inch wheels on the TRX. 33s on the Rebel, and then we have 35s here on the TRX. You can see the marker light there to the side. Now from a suspension standpoint, we do have the 4-corner air suspension on this Rebel. That is an option. You can get the traditional suspension with the off-road shocks if you want. That's kind of the thing that I generally suggest people to get. I understand the utility of the air suspension, but yeah, that's just my opinion. Anyways, over to the TRX, we have the Black Hawk shocks from Bilstein. You can see just how much more aggressive everything is underneath there. And obviously, with all that extra weight in the front end, you got to make sure everything's super sturdy. These wheels are beadlock capable with the TRX, and then look at the size of the fender flares with both of them. The Rebel fender flares look good, but the TRX fender flares are so much bigger. And then also you have the wider fender that's also part of the TRX package. And then you guys can see here they actually have the same mirrors with the off-road side steps here with the TRX as well. And then we've got the venting here on the side, Ram logo there on the side with the Rebel. The TRX normally has that, but I debadged my truck. Anyways, here in the rear, again, you can see the wider fender, and then against the Rebel, you can see that the Rebel fender is not nearly as wide. We have the GT logo here on the side. Then we got the wheelhouse liner from the factory, and again, like I said, air suspension in the back. And then popping over here to the TRX, you guys can see the 5-link coil, and then again the shocks from Bilstein, and then it also has a wheelhouse liner here in the back. But just notice the difference in the height with both these trucks. Now this isn't in the off-road setting for the air suspension. This is just in the normal setting, but still, I mean, yeah, there's a pretty big height difference. Now here are the key fobs for both of the trucks. That's the TRX and that's the Rebel key fob. The TRX does get its own special kind of thing on the back of it. But let's drop down the tailgates with, or whoops, almost did the air suspension. Tailgates with both of them. Now, as for the Rebel, we have 1,324 pounds of payload capacity. The TRX has 1,034 pounds of payload capacity. So the Rebel does have quite a bit more in terms of the payload capacity. And a big part of that is because the TRX has a massive engine under the hood, which takes up quite a bit of the payload. Moving on from that, you can see we've got the spray-in liner here from the factory. This also does come with the LED lights. It's a 5'7" bed. You've got the tonneau cover as well, and lifting this up, it's actually very light. Now, popping over here to the TRX, you can see we've got spray-in liner from the factory. Yes, I understand the truck is very dirty. I haven't driven it in quite some time, so like, give me a break. We've got the tire carrier there in the back. This also has the ram bar, which you can get as an accessory on the Rebel if you guys are wondering, if you want to make the Rebel look a little bit more TRX-y. And then also the lights there at the top. Aside from that, lifting this up is actually just as easy as what you have there in the Rebel, and that's all for that. Now let's go over more stuff here with the rears of both the trucks. Starting over here with the Rebel, you guys can see all the stuff here on the tailgate. We do have the upgraded exhaust as part of the GT package, parking sensors along the bottom. Towing capacity is right around 11,000 pounds with the Rebel. And you guys can see everything in kind of how that looks from the back end perspective. And then we do have the LED lights with the darker portion there in the center, and then the bumper step. Now popping over here to the TRX, you guys can see that the lighting is the same. We do have the venting right next to the light, but you guys can see here we've got the Ram logo on the back. I did remove the TRX badge and the 4x4 badge, but yeah, this does have an aftermarket bumper, so the stock bumper is going to look very similar to what you have with the Rebel. It looks identical. And then you guys can see you've got an aftermarket exhaust as well. We've got the recovery hooks there on the back end. These are the stock recovery hooks, if you're wondering. And then this also does have the bumper step as well added to it. But if you look at the TRX from like dead on in the back end, it looks just like the Rebel, and it's kind of a problem. Let's pop into the backs of both of the trucks. Now starting over here with the Rebel, you can see really nice material use with the leather and the suede and all that, and just looks really good. This does have the Harman Kardon sound system. And then you can see the seats that are part of the GT package. They are just like the seats you get in the TRX, which is pretty cool. You've got the suede inserts here, and then really nice bolstering here on the seats, and the padding on them is great. Rubber floor mats just down below. We've got the blacked out trim here. We have the heated seats with the USBs, full power outlet, and then you can pick these seats up. They don't recline or anything like that. It doesn't have that function on it. But yeah, that's the Rebel. Now, moving from that to the TRX, you guys can see design-wise it's very similar, but the TRX just has nicer materials with the leather and the Alcantara and then the carbon fiber. It just looks a lot more premium, and it does feel more premium as well. And then here are the seats in the back, so you can see same story. Very similar in terms of the design, right? You've got the piping and then you've got the Alcantara here, but again, it's a little bit more premium with the material use. Rubber floor mats down below. This does have the reclining seats. They also do pick up for some extra storage space. We have heated and ventilated seats here in the back, and then we have the same charging port situation. Then we've got the carbon fiber right there, and yeah, so you go. Now here's the door panel at the front of the Rebel. You can see it's identical pretty much to what you have in the rear. We've got all of our window controls here with the power folding mirror button, and then the memory seats, and then there's a quick look at the mirrors. And then here are the seats at the front. So you can see you've got the GT logo, and again, they are pretty much just stolen right out of the TRX. Not the nicer TRX seats, but again, they look fantastic if you ask me. You got the power adjustments right there. Really nice pedals down below. It's also part of the GT package. Your pedal adjustment, parking brake, light controls, fog light, cargo light. Steering wheel is manually adjustable. And let's pop in. Boom. So you guys can see you've got this really nice leather steering wheel with leather at the top and at the bottom. Perfect leather here on the side so you get a better grip. Paddle shifters also stolen out of the TRX. Controls for the center stack, voice command, phone controls, cruise control, radio controls are on the back. And then you guys can see here with the center gauge cluster, analog gauges for the speed and for the RPMs, and then you can scroll through some different screens. This does have the performance page here in the center, and then also in the infotainment system. And then also there's our average fuel economy. We'll compare that with the TRX to see what the real difference is with the trucks. 12 volt there at the top. We have the full 12-inch display, and this is the newer version for 2022. You guys can see you've got the backup camera. Trajectory lines do turn with the steering wheel. Moving on from that, we've got heated and ventilated seats here for the front. Heated steering wheel as well, or I should say as wheel. Ha! Isn't that funny? Anyways, response time with the screen is fantastic. The layout is great. It's easy to use. And yeah, that's all for the infotainment system. Down below, we've got a parking sensor button, tow haul mode, stability control. That's for the air suspension to raise and lower it. Trailer brake control. Auto stops right here. You got our 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel low, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel auto, true neutral. Off-road, well, our hill descent control rather, and then our axle lock. And then we have the shifter also stolen from the TRX here in the center. It does have the manual shift function. Got the center console. You can see that whole setup right here. You guys can see the cup holders. Wireless phone charger looks a little bit different. It's a little bit grippier than what you had before. And then we do have the dual glove box which now I've got to shove that paper back in there again. I've got the Rebel logo, and then you can see the dash here, really nice with the material use and the stitching and the design. And then you've got the Harman Kardon sound system right there. You can see it's got the camera mirror. This does have a power sliding rear window, and then it has a full panoramic sunroof. Let's head over to the TRX. Now here's the door panel at the front of the TRX, just as nice as what you have there in the rear. The mirrors do have blind spot monitoring, and then you can see these speakers here for the Harman Kardon sound system, a little bit more stylized. Now I'm mainly going to focus on the differences. So first difference, you can see the seats here at the front with all the red accenting. They look just a little bit nicer compared to what you get in the Rebel GT, but they're very close. And then you guys can see you've got the adjustments on the side of the seat. The pedals aren't as nice as what you get in the Rebel GT. And, well, of course, she's a lot louder when she starts up. Anyways, another difference here is with the steering wheel. So you guys can see this part is pretty similar. You've got the perforated leather, but we have Alcantara here at the top and down here at the bottom, and then red stitching. And the steering wheel does feel slightly like bulkier, if that makes sense, but it's pretty much very similar to what you have in the Rebel. This has adaptive cruise control, whereas the Rebel does not. And then you can see everything is in red font here in the center with the TRX. And then, you know, everything else pretty much the same. But let's see what the fuel economy difference is. 90 miles per gallon. So, you know, 4.5 mile per gallon difference roughly. So not a huge difference, but it is a difference nonetheless. Now, as for the infotainment system, since this is a 2021, it has a different version of the infotainment system, so things just look a little bit different. But the other thing is this TRX has the 360 camera system, so that's another difference with them. Now, aside from that, we've got a bunch of drive modes in the TRX that the Rebel does not. So you guys can see we've got auto, snow, tow, sport, custom, mud, sand, rock, and then our Baja mode as well. And then coming down over here, you guys can see that we've got 4-wheel auto, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, and then axle lock. We do not have 2-wheel drive at all in the TRX. And we've got our off-road cruise control and then stability control. And then it also has launch control as well, which is pretty cool. And then you can see this setup here is a little bit different. We've got like auxiliary switches, parking sensor buttons, all that fun stuff. Wireless phone charger, which looks a little bit different. You can see the shifter, just the coloration on the stitching is different. And then also you can see the material use here is different. And then also on the dash, and you can see you've got nicer leather here in the TRX than what you have there in the Rebel GT. Still have the camera mirror, still have a panoramic sunroof, power sliding window, all that stuff at the top. And then you can see the difference with the material use on the glove box. So there's a lot of similarities, but there are a few differences. Now let's get into pricing with both of these vehicles. So this Rebel GT stickers for about $71,000, and then this Ram TRX stickers for about $95,000. But the base price of a TRX starts at about $70,000, which is the same price as this loaded up GT. So it begs the question, do you get a base model TRX or do you get a Rebel GT? And here's what I'd have to say. If you want a fully loaded truck, obviously that is going to give you a fully loaded truck at a substantially lower cost. And if you want something that tows a little bit better, has a little bit higher payload capacity, that is also going to give you that. But if you want a much more exciting driving experience, a much more capable truck from an off-road perspective, something that just feels a little bit more special, that is going to be discontinued pretty soon actually, then yeah, go for the Ram TRX. And I know a lot of dealers don't order base models, but I'm sure you can go into a dealer and order a base model if you wanted. And the base model interior with the TRX is actually pretty similar to this Rebel GT package, so it's not like you're giving up a massive amount. You aren't getting as many tech features, but the interior difference, it's not as nice as the Rebel GT, but it's still a really nice interior. And so, I mean, for me personally, I guess I have to make a decision. I would pick the TRX over the Rebel, but that's coming from someone who's not going to be doing a massive amount of towing and just, you know, drives a truck, has fun, and is okay with having, you know, 4 miles per gallon less. Now that's going to sum things up for our video comparing this Ram TRX to this Ram Rebel GT. And with all that being said, I'll see all of you in that next video.